learned about some of the amazing apes that we have in our world. We've looked at the great apes like us, our gorillas, our chimpanzees and bonobos, and our orangutans. And we've also had a quick look into the world of lesser apes, like the siamangs and the gibbons. But now let's focus on the important things. Let's focus on what we as humans can do to help protect and conserve these amazing species. You might think there's not much that you yourself can do, sitting at home or going to university, being at school, but there is so much that we can do in our day-to-day lives that directly impacts wildlife and these apes in particular. So we're going to have a little run through of all the things that we can do, all the small behaviours that we can change to make a big impact to these animals' lives. So let's start off with the big one, the one that we've all heard about on the news and the one that's been plastered all over supermarkets for their marketing strategies. We're going to talk about palm oil. Now, palm oil is actually a plant and it's grown to produce oil for us to use. Now, it's usually grown in places like Indonesia, but now it's also grown in Africa and other countries too. Now, the problem is that when palm oil is grown, lots and lots of rainforests and habitats are destroyed to make way for this crop. Over 193 individual species are directly affected by this practice, and it makes incredibly rare ecosystems in even more danger. That means endangered animals like our orangutans that are often highlighted are losing much more habitat than they would do normally, as well as the other issues that they face. So what can we do about palm oil? Well, over 144 million people rely on palm oil production as their main income. And palm oil itself is a very productive crop. It has a much higher yield than other oils. If we were to replace all the palm oil in food with other oils such as like sunflower oil, for example, or canola oil, it would take much more land use to produce the same quantity of oil. So it can be a bit confusing at times on what we're actually meant to do in this situation. One of the things that we can do is support sustainably grown palm oil. So if you see a product with this symbol on, the RSPO, that is the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil, and that means that companies have come together and created a way to grow this palm oil in a way that least affects animals and their habitats. By supporting this great sustainable palm oil, you're helping millions of animals from having their homes destroyed. Another way to reduce your palm oil consumption is actually making food from scratch yourself at home. So a lot of cakes, for example, and jar sauces, they have palm oil in, which might not even be sustainable. So the best thing to do, it's actually quite easy once you get the hang of it, is try and make your own sauces and stuff from scratch. And it's actually a lot better for your health as well. So let's shift our focus from Indonesia now to Africa and back to those gorillas that we saw earlier. There is one big factor affecting the habitat destruction for these gorillas. And it's something that we all do and we're all guilty of. I'm guilty of it right now because I'm filming on one. It's our mobile phones. So mobile phones have minerals in them, and these minerals are actually quite hard to come by. So our mobile phones have these minerals inside, and to find these minerals, companies have to mine in countries where these minerals are kept, or where they're found more so. As minerals are being used, they get harder to find. They don't just grow in trees. Once they're gone for a very long time. So to keep finding these minerals, companies have to mine further and further into the environment, and often they mine into the habitats of many animals, including these mountain gorillas. So what can we do? It's the 21st century and everyone has a phone. Phones are a big part of our lives now. We even use them for work. It's really hard to imagine life without a mobile phone. But what you can do is, instead of buying a new phone every 2 years because the latest model has come out, try and keep your phone for as long as you can. Be sensible, and when your contract is out, get a SIM only plan, And you can even, I suggest, get a nice case for your phone that's really indestructible so that you're not damaging your phone as much. If you do need to get a new phone, say your old phone has broken, what you can do is you can recycle your old phone. There's plenty of eco companies now that are doing that. I might leave a link around here if I can find one. And these companies recycle the minerals from your old phone, they extract them, and then they go back into the production line to make new phones, which is a good recycle and reuse method to create these new phones, and it stops the intensity of mining for minerals in these protected habitats. Now, one of the last points that I'm going to touch about is one that you'll all be involved with hopefully anyway, social media. So social media is a great platform for sharing ideas and connecting with people that you would never thought to ever see in your life, never mind talk to them before. So it can be a really good tool to learn new things and to keep up to date in what's happening in the environmental world as well. It can also be harmful to the environment too, especially if you see videos of cute animals and cute primates on social media, often being displayed as pets, or people stroking them and having their photos taken with them. Many people, I would say most people, know that this practice is really bad. Pulling animals from the wild and keeping them as your pets is a really bad thing to do, as people can't provide the correct family conditions for them or the correct health conditions. They just can't. And we've touched on this before in one of my very first videos about the lemurs of Madagascar and how they were being used in the pet trade. It's not just lemurs, it's monkeys, it's also gibbons as well, orangutans, and many other wildlife species that are endangered too. And unfortunately, even though these videos might look very cute to watch, every time you view them or like them or share them to your friends, they get pushed up the algorithm and more people see it, which just fuels this need to continue doing this to these animals, to continue the illegal pet trade. So if you see a video on social media of an animal or any animal like primates or big cats being shown in this manner, being shown in a pet situation or having unneeded human contact, the best thing for you to do is either ignore it completely, or you can also report the video, which will then take it off social media. And Instagram have launched a massive campaign last year where they now have a special report button for wildlife crime and the illegal pet trade especially. So these are all just some very small day-to-day behaviours that we can change that will cause no issue to us or very minimal issue to us, which can help protect not just these amazing great and lesser apes, but also a whole plethora of other wildlife species that share that whole environment as well. So I hope you will take some of this into consideration, and I hope it's sparked an interest in some of you as well. If it has done, as I said, social media is a powerful tool. There's lots of information out there that you can look into more and find your own ways to protect these animals.